Students, in previous lecture, we have seen about the deviations of Raoult's law. There are some solutions which show deviations from Raoult's law, that means they do not obey Raoult's law. And the solutions show two types of deviations, positive and negative deviations. We have seen about the definition, then characteristics and examples of the different solutions that show either negative deviation from Raoult's law or positive deviation from Raoult's law. And with this, we have completed the first part of the chapter, that is solution part. And now we are going to start with the new topic of the chapter, that is colligative properties of non-electrolyte solutions. Non-electrolyte solutions च्या आपल्याला colligative properties study करायच्या आहे. But before going to colligative properties, we will just revise what are non-electrolyte solutions. Non-electrolyte solutions, in 11th standard we have studied about electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Non-electrolytes are generally the chemical substances which do not undergo ionization or dissolution into a solvent. बघा काही पदार्थ असे असतात की जे सॉल्व्हेंट मध्ये डिसॉल्व केल्यानंतर त्यांच्यापासून आयन्स तयार होतात. असे जे असतात त्यांना आपण म्हणतो इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स. And the chemical substances which do not form ions or dissolution into the solvent are called as non-electrolytes. Example is, supposing we are dissolving common salt, that is NaCl in water. What happens when NaCl is dissolved in water? NaCl is ionized into two types of ions, Na plus and Cl minus. But when we dissolve the glucose in water, glucose does not form any ions when it is dissolved in water. So here NaCl, as it undergoes ionization, is an electrolyte, and glucose does not undergo ionization in solution. Hence, glucose is a non-electrolyte. And the solutions in which the non-electrolyte solutes are dissolved are called as non-electrolyte solutions. Now we will go to the colligative properties. What are colligative properties? I have written the definition. The colligative properties are the physical properties of solutions. Important point to be remembered is these are the physical properties. Colligative properties are physical properties of the solution that depend on the number of solute particles. कशावर depend करतात या properties? त्या दिलेल्या solution मध्ये solute particles ची संख्या किती आहे याच्यावर ते depend करतात. But not on the nature of solute. See, these are some properties which depend only on the number of solute particles, not on the nature of solute. Similarly, these properties do not depend on the solvent number. Solvent particles चा किती number आहे याच्यावर ते depend करत नाही. Solute चा काय nature आहे याच्यावरही ते depend करत नाही. But these physical properties depend only on the number of solute particles. These properties are called as colligative properties. And in this topic, we are going to study 4 different colligative properties. First is vapor pressure lowering, another is boiling point elevation, and third property is freezing point depression, and the fourth one is osmotic pressure. These are the 4 different colligative properties of a non-electrolyte solution. We will be studying each property in detail. So first we will start with vapor pressure lowering. Again remember that colligative properties are the properties that depend only on the number of solute particles but do not depend on the nature of solute, as well as do not depend on the number of solvent particles. So we will start with first colligative property, that is vapor pressure lowering. pressure lowering is a colligative property. Before going to what is vapor pressure lowering, we will understand the concept of vapor pressure that we have studied earlier in this chapter also, as well as we have studied about vapor pressure in 11th standard. I will just revise the definition. Vapor pressure is defined as the pressure applied by the vapors on the surface of the liquid at equilibrium. When a solution is kept in a container which is volatile, and as the solution is volatile, some of the solvent molecules go into vapor state, and when there is equilibrium between vapor state and liquid state, the vapor phase applies some pressure on the surface of the liquid. That is called as vapor pressure. Now we are going to study about vapor pressure lowering. See, whenever a non-electrolyte solute is dissolved in a pure solvent, the vapor pressure of that pure solvent is decreased, and this decrease in the vapor pressure of the pure solvent due to addition of a non-electrolyte solute is called as vapor pressure lowering. बघा, आपण जेव्हा एखादं सोल्युशन तयार करतो नॉन इलेक्ट्रोलाइटचं, त्यावेळेला काय होतं, तर प्युअर सॉल्व्हंट जो असतो त्या प्युअर सॉल्व्हंटमध्ये जेव्हा तुम्ही एखादा नॉन व्होलेटाईल सॉल्व्हंट ॲड करता, त्यावेळेला त्याचं वेपर प्रेशर काय होतं, लो होतं. दिस इज कॉल्ड ॲज वेपर प्रेशर lowering. Now, how it happens, we'll see that this happens because of the number of solvent molecules which are present on the surface of the liquid decreases due to addition of solute, and hence there is lowering of the rate of vaporization, and due to the rate of vaporization is decreased, the process of vaporization is slowed down, and due to which the vapor pressure of the pure liquid decreases. I will show you with a diagram. Supposing we have taken a pure solvent in a beaker, and this pure solvent is volatile, so it undergoes vaporization, and the vapors of that liquid will apply some pressure on the surface of the liquid, and in this case the solution will have some value of vapor pressure. When we add a non-electrolyte solute to it, see what happens. By addition of non-electrolyte solute into the pure solvent, the sum of the solvent molecules which are present on the surface liquid are replaced by solute molecules. बघा, तुम्ही डायग्राम ऑब्झर्व करून तुमच्या असं लक्षात येईल, सरफेसवर सुरुवातीला सगळे सॉल्व्हंट मॉलिक्युल्स होते. आता त्याच्यामध्ये आपण एक सॉल्यूट ॲड केलं, तर सरफेसवरचे काही जे सॉल्व्हंट मॉलिक्युल्स होते त्यांची जागा कोणी घेतली, सॉल्यूट मॉलिक्युल्सनी. As these solid molecules occupy some places on the surface of the liquid, what happens? The number of solvent molecules present per unit surface area of the liquid is decreased. There is a decrease observed in number of solvent molecules per unit surface area of liquid. As the number of solvent molecules present on the surface is decreased, the rate of vaporization is slowed down. The process of vaporization takes place at a slower rate, and due to this, as the vaporization takes place at slower rate, the vapor pressure of the liquid also decreases. due to which the vapor pressure of solvent decreases. Now we'll see how we can mathematically express the vapor pressure lowering. Consider a pure liquid which is solvent and its vapor pressure be P01. The vapor pressure of pure liquid or pure solvent is P01. Vapor pressure of solution is P1. According to the concept of vapor pressure lowering, we know that by addition of a non-electrolyte solute into a pure liquid, its vapor pressure decreases, and hence we say that, therefore we can say that P01 is greater than P1, and the vapor pressure lowering can be given as delta P is equal to P01 minus P1. What is P01? P01 is the vapor pressure of pure solvent or pure liquid. P1 is the vapor pressure of solution, and due to addition of non-electrolyte solute into a pure solvent, how much of the change is taking place in the vapor pressure, that can be calculated using delta P. The equation for delta P is equal to P01 minus P1, where delta P is vapor pressure lowering. It is the difference between vapor pressure of pure solvent and vapor pressure of solution. This was the mathematical equation for vapor pressure lowering. Next we will see Rod's law for a non-volatile solute. Rod's law for a solution of non-volatile solute. In this chapter, in the previous section, we have studied the vapor pressure of a solution of liquids in liquids. दोन लिक्विड्स जेव्हा एकमेकांमध्ये एकत्र केले जातात त्यावेळेला त्याचं वेपर प्रेशर काय असतं हे कसं काढायचं. फॉर दॅट वी हॅव स्टडीड दी रॉड्स लॉ. सिमिलरली वी विल सी नाउ द रॉड्स लॉ फॉर अ सोल्यूशन ऑफ नॉन volatile solute. How to calculate the vapor pressure of a solution which contains a non-volatile solute. The Rod's law is same as we have studied it in previous part of the chapter. Here there is also the statement, same statement, but there is a little modification that as the solution of non-electrolyte contains only one component that is volatile, that is solvent. Solvent is only volatile and the solute is non-volatile. So here the Rod's law is applicable only to the solvent. We'll see the statement. The statement of the Rod's law is, Rod's law states that the vapor pressure of the solvent over a solution is equal to the vapor pressure of pure solvent multiplied by its mole fraction. बघा आधी सारखाच लॉ आहे, फक्त इथे तो फक्त सॉल्व्हेंट साठी आपण घेतोय. तिथे आपण दोन्हीसाठी घेतला होता, सॉल्यूट आणि सॉल्व्हेंट साठी. काय सांगतो हा लॉ मी शॉर्टमध्ये तुमच्यासमोर मांडणार आहे. वेपर प्रेशर ऑफ सॉल्व्हंट vapor pressure of solvent over solution is equal to vapor pressure of solvent over solution is equal to vapor pressure of pure solvent multiplied by mole fraction of solvent. Now we will put this formula into an equation. The equation will be vapor pressure of solvent over solution is P1. P1 is equal to vapor pressure of pure solvent. Vapor pressure of pure solvent is given by P01 as we have studied earlier, multiplied by mole fraction of solvent. Mole fraction of solvent is given by x1. So, the mathematical form for Raoult's law for a solution of non-volatile solute can be given as P1 is equal to P01 x1. This is the equation obtained for the vapor pressure of solution which contains non-volatile solute. Here we will not take into consideration about the solute part because this law is applicable only to the solvent, because solvent is the only component that is volatile, solute is non-volatile. So we will not take into consideration the part of the solute, and hence the equation is P1 is equal to P01 x1. But you know that x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. And therefore, for x1, you can write 1 minus x2. Now you have got a new value for x1, that is x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. Put this value of x1 into this equation. By putting the value of x1 into this equation, what you get is P1 is equal to P01 into bracket 1 minus x2. Now we will solve the bracket. So what we get is P1 is equal to P01 minus P01 x2. We will rearrange the equation so that this P01 becomes positive. See what I have done? This term P01 x2 I have taken to the left side, so it becomes positive. P01 x2 is equal to P01 minus this P1. But you know that P01 minus P1 is nothing but the delta P. Delta P is vapor pressure lowering. So what we have obtained is we have got a new equation. P01 x2 is equal to delta P. Why we have written delta P? Because P01 minus P1 is nothing but the vapor pressure lowering, which is denoted by delta P. So the equation obtained is delta P is equal to P01 x2. In the introductory part of colligative properties, we have seen that vapor pressure lowering is a colligative property. But why is a colligative property? That we will study now. We have the equation for Raoult's law. of a solution containing non-volatile solute is the equation is delta P is equal to P01X2. If you observe carefully this equation, you will find that delta P is proportional to X2. Delta P depends on X2. What is X2? X2 is the number of X2 is the mole fraction of solute. As X2 is mole fraction of solute, the formula for mole fraction of solute is N2 upon N1 plus N2. What is N? N is the number of moles. N2 is number of moles of solute. So we say that X2 depends on N2 and delta P depends on X2. That means indirectly we say that the delta P, that is vapor pressure lowering, depends on the number of solute particles. And as it depends on the number of solute particles, according to the revise or remember the definition of colligative properties. What are colligative properties? These are the physical properties that depend on number of solute particles. And if you observe this equation carefully, you will find that delta P depends on X2, X2 depends on number of moles of solute. That means indirectly delta P is dependent on the number of solute particles, and hence we say that delta P is a colligative property. As delta P depends on X2, that means it is dependent on the number of solid particles, therefore delta P is a colligative property. The next point in vapor pressure lowering is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is a ratio of vapor pressure lowering divided by the vapor pressure of pure solvent. बघा, relative lowering of vapor pressure हा एक रेशो आहे. कशा रेशो आहे? तर vapor pressure lowering to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. So, the equation for relative lowering of vapor pressure can be given as, we will write this formula into equation form. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to delta P upon the P01. See, this is a ratio. In numerator, we have the value of ratio of vapor pressure lowering and to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. So, delta P upon P01. But you know what is delta P? Delta P is P01 minus P1 divided by P01. So, the equation is P01 minus P1 upon P01 is nothing but the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now, remember the equation for Raoult's law containing a non-volatile solute? What was that equation? That equation was delta P is equal to P01X2. If you rearrange this equation, what will you get? You will get that. If you rearrange the equation, you will get that delta P upon upon P01 is equal to x2. What is delta P upon P01? It is nothing but the relative lowering of vapor pressure. And again, you will see that relative lowering of vapor pressure depends on x2. कशावर depend करता है relative lowering of vapor pressure? Mole fraction of solute पर depend करता है. And as relative lowering of vapor pressure is dependent on the mole fraction of solute, again we say that relative lowering of vapor pressure is also a colligative property. See, the equation obtained is delta P upon P01 is x2. If we observe this equation, we find that relative lowering of vapor pressure is dependent on x2, and as it depends on x2, it depends on the number of solute particles, and hence relative lowering of vapor pressure is also a colligative property. So, the vapor pressure lowering and relative lowering of vapor pressure both are the colligative properties. The next point that we are going to see is relation between relative lowering of vapor pressure and molar mass of solute. We will see the relation between relative lowering of vapor pressure and molar mass of solute. For relative lowering of vapor pressure, what formula we have? Delta P upon P01. And the molar mass of solute is called as M2. What is the value of molar mass of solute? It is M2. We will see the relation between them. The relation is like this. As studied in the relative lowering of vapor pressure, we know that delta P upon P01 is x2. Delta P upon P01 is x2. What is delta P? It is lowering of vapor pressure. What is P01? P01 is the vapor pressure of pure solvent. So this ratio is called as relative lowering of vapor pressure, which is equal to x2. x2 is the mole fraction of solute. Now, what is the formula for mole fraction of solute? What is the formula for x2? We have studied in 11th standard. x2 is equal to n2 upon n1 plus n2. What formula we have studied? n2 upon n1 plus n2. The mole fraction of any component is equal to the ratio of number of moles of that component to the total number of moles of all the components present in the solution. According to this definition of mole fraction, the formula obtained for x2 is equal to n2 upon n1 plus n2. Now, what is n1 and n2? N1 and N2 are the number of moles of solvent and solute. So we will write the formula for N2 and for N2 the formula obtained is W2 upon M2, and for N1 the formula is W1 upon M1. We will put these values of N2 and N1 in the above equation of X2. So for X2, what we get is W1 M1 plus W2 M2. Now consider that the solution is dilute, and for a dilute solution, consider that the solution is very diluted, and for a dilute solution, N1 is very greater than N2. See, when we call the solution is dilute, the solution is called as dilute when the number of moles of solute are very less as compared to the number of moles of solvent. So, in a dilute solution, we find that always there is a greater number of solvents as compared to the number of solute moles. And hence we say that for a dilute solution, N1 is greater than N2. And as N1 is much greater than N2, the N2 part can be neglected from the equation of X2. N2 part can be neglected. What is N2 part? That is W2 upon M2. As the number of moles of solvent is more as compared to number of moles of solute, we can neglect the part of number of moles of solute. And therefore, the new equation for X2 will be W2 divided by M2 upon W1 divided by M1. This is the equation for X2. Now we put this value of X2 in the equation of relative lowering of vapor pressure. So, the equation that we have obtained is delta P upon P01 is equal to W2 upon M2 whole divided by W1 upon M1. So, by rearranging that equation, we can get as delta P upon P01 is equal to this M2 which is in the denominator of the numerator, that will go into denominator W2 upon M2, and what will happen? This M1 which is in the denominator of the denominator, that will go into numerator. So the equation obtained is W2 M1 divided by M2 W1, and this is the relationship between relative lowering of vapor pressure and molar mass of solute. What relation we have obtained? Delta P upon P01 is equal to W2 M1 divided by M2 W1. This is an important equation which gives the relationship between relative lowering of vapor pressure and molar mass of solute. In exam, this equation can be asked for derivation. You will be asked to derive the relationship between relative lowering of vapor pressure and molar mass of solute, and as well as the numericals based on this equation can also be asked to find out the molar mass of solute. If you know the values of delta P, P01, W2, M1 and W1, using these all given values, you can find out M2. So, we will find out M2. How to calculate M2 from the given data, that we will see by taking an example. We will solve the numerical.